All right, we're back working on the card game project, and let me do an audio check really quick. While that's loading, let's take a look at, okay, when to use Firestore Lite. So I don't think I'm going to be able to use Firestore Lite for what I'm trying to do. Good for apps that do not need live updates. And that is a feature I'm going to use for not only the chat, but also the game, or each individual game. So that's not going to work. Um, and it even says up here on snapshot method, objects are not included. So I have to use just regular Firestore. Should be an easy change. So where do I have? I think it's just in source config. I think it's just here. Missing a quote. All right. So that's good. I actually have to set that up as well. So if we can get the chat working how it was before, let's start. First thing I need to do, I'm going to look at the old project. Is this it? Yeah. So the old project, I need to look in app. This is the one component I forgot to bring over. Is there any styles here? Height 100%. All right. That can go, I guess, in index. So pages, index. They call it home. Wonder if I want to do like, you know what? I'll put for now. I'll put I'll throw the app right there, and I'll for now use app as one of the components. Maybe change that later. Yeah, I'll just put it in not in a folder. Oh, that's the styles. So let's go app.css. Throw this in there. And app tsx. Where is it? Over here. Not provider. Okay. And it has the class app. It's good. It has all the other stuff. Components layout. Okay, I just need to change the path of these. So these are in. You know what? I'm not gonna put. Yeah, I'll put app there for now. So that's in. That should have been right. Auth provider. I have to go one directory back. Okay. What's content? Why do I even have that? Header property loading is missing. Required. Okay. Throw that in there for now. Provider. Okay. Let's see what we get out of this. Have to import app first. Throw it up here, I guess. Import app from components. Source. Components. Alright. See what we get now. Can't resolve config. Where is it trying to resolve that? I'm not sure what's going on there. Source, components, app, and then pages, index. Huh, what is the problem there? Let's read the error message again. Auth provider TSX2. Config Firebase exports. I don't see the problem. Module not found. Can't. Module not found. Can't resolve. Config Firebase exports. Oh. Oh. I know what's going on. I have .js. I think that's the problem. I was actually thinking about making that JS anyways. Regardless, let's change that. Where was that again? In here. Let's remove the extension. Should hopefully work now. Auth context JS. Might have to stop streaming in a minute. There's a lot of background noise, but can't resolve auth context. So that's in content. Okay, so where's content? Main content. Oh. Um, Import auth context. Here, let me just search for that, I guess. Oh, here we go. It's in source. I didn't see that. Source components, content.js. Source component. This is also still. Okay, auth context, remove that. And then auth context is now in, well, we don't have auth context. That's one thing. So we don't have this consumer thing. Function display. Okay, let's just get rid of this. Get rid of this. Wonder how I didn't run into this or notice it. Oh, because it was a JS file, that's how. Okay, auth context. This is gonna be use context. So here I can just go import use auth context from auth provider. And then up here I could go const auth context equals use auth context. And then return no auth. Okay. Next our default function. All right. That looks okay, I guess. See if we get any errors. Global CSS cannot be imported from files other than your custom. Okay. So let's switch that to app.css.module. App.tsx. So how does module work again? Like that. And you can say class name styles. Okay. So let's start with app. And then just like that. I think that's good. App.tsx. Oh, what? Firebase UI CSS. Okay. Global CSS cannot be imported from files other than your custom app due to the global nature of style sheets. I actually want to look up what they mean by custom app. Due to the global nature of style sheets, please move all first party. What about third party? I guess for third party, where is that? That's in Firebase, so sign in button. Components, button, sign in button. Firebase UI.css. I'll just move this out into public, I guess. And then include it. Not sure if this is going to work right, but where's there's no index HTML, is there? All right. Next.js, global, third party CSS. Add a style sheet import CSS file within pages of app. Okay, pages app file and then import the styles. And this is going to be, where is that globals.js? There we go. Where was that thing it's moved? Public, right here. Okay, Firebase UI. Okay. Do I still have that in that file? Oh, I know what I did, I think. Oh, I do still have that, okay. Resolve app module CSS. Oh no, import styles from. Oh, I said CSS module instead of module CSS. Okay. A lot more errors than I expected. Again, let me go back to this. That's the last one. Unhandled runtime error. Get auth app, auth invalid API key. Really? Okay. Source auth provider. That is in config Firebase exports. Get auth app. Let's see, console.log, Firebase config. Let's see how that's working. Showing in here. Oh, that's weird. Working now, kind of. API key undefined. So everything's undefined. Okay. All right. So how do I make that work? Try to restart first. Same issue. Everything's undefined. Okay. So it's logging out in here. Is it because this is never... Actually, not sure. I don't think this will help. I just did want to name it to JS anyways. No. Sure, that did not help. But let's try it anyways. Yeah. Oops. Okay. So how do we include process env? Is there a way to include that in, like, make that work in the other code? Let me read about this really quick though. Export default function myapp. Still don't know what your custom app is. Okay. So I already have this set up actually. Hmm. Looks like I just need next public, but because these are client side keys actually. But I'm gonna read on, see what else I can find out. So next config.js. I could throw it in here. Might want to come back to this and look at this section. All right, let's try that. Next public. All right, let's see what we get now. Still undefined. Maybe, let's see. Oh, do I need to restart it maybe? Yeah. Hmm. Okay. Let's try it from, index, I guess. So where's index? Pages, index. Start at the top. Hmm. So I'm getting an error, like, or I'm even getting there, I guess. Um, just comment this out. Nothing, huh? This should show right away, wouldn't it? Okay. I could just hard code those. I would like to figure this out, though. Order to keep server, only secrets safe, environment variables are evaluated at build time. Okay, so this might be one problem, because I am doing that. Well, I am doing that. Did I spell it wrong? And I saved it. Okay. Hmm. So it should be showing up here, I would think. Let's make this really simple and get rid of apps for now. Blank. Wonder why. Do I need to refer to a specific one or something? Oh, there we go. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. HI, how's it going? I'm working on a card game. It's going to be basically like one of these fades, pretty much. Card games IO. Like this. You can join tables. I mean, it's not going to be exactly like this, but pretty much this. It's going to be using Firebase pretty much for everything on the back end. And yeah, this is the first time I've used Next, so It's kind of weird that you can't log out just process env. I guess is that, let me see. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. It's gonna have like a matchmaking where you could just hit play, and then if anyone else is in the play pool, it'll match you up. It's gonna have a way to just invite friends, stuff like that. It'll be kind of fun. So yeah, I guess you need to just refer to these exactly as they are, and you can't destructure them. So let's see if this will work now. If I bring all this code back, remove this, remove this. Um, can't do that apparently. And let's just do console.log process env that. Let's see if we get that back. Testing. Let's restart it too. Firebase export. So this never, is it because it's not in a component? Like it just has to be a component or something? Yeah, thanks, Jay. It's gonna be it's definitely gonna be a fun project. What kind of stuff I think you already told me yesterday or the other day. What kind of stuff are you working on? So Firebase exports, Firebase config. Okay, let's bring back app and see now if we get something here. Okay, let's comment. Actually, I'm gonna need to just do all of this. Process.env. Oh wow, okay, there we go, finally. Nice. Testing. The CSS needs work, obviously. Um, so that's good. Globals. That looks fine. So it's this. What is this exactly? Oh, that's right, PHP and Angular. That's true. Not much really studying for exams right now, but I was able to get a bit into CSS, HTML, and PHP, and a little bit of Angular. Someone told me yesterday that Angular is obsolete, so I don't know anymore. I don't know that much about it. I don't know if it's obsolete though. It probably, I mean, I'd probably recommend looking into React, but I don't know. Seems like that's where most of the jobs are, but I'm sure there's some Angular jobs. The cool thing about Angular is if you if what you're saying or what someone else what the other person told you is true, then if people are like not focusing on Angular, then there'll be more opportunities. I don't know. I'd probably pick up React on the side. I think it'll be really easy if you're good with Angular. I think it's just more simple from my experience. But PHP, I think it's kind of the same issue like as Angular, right? It's not obsolete, but it's becoming less popular. But I think PHP, there'd be a ton of jobs out there right now, if that's your goal. But so yeah, I'd probably learn several languages. PHP and Angular will probably get you somewhere, but then I'd learn some other stuff too. Okay, so these are all replaced. Everything seems to be working now. That's logging out. I'm gonna make a note. Cannot destructure structure process.env. Um, what else? Need next public. Need next public prefix or access in client side. Not doing Angular for jobs. My curriculum has Angular. Oh, okay. They're doing Angular and PHP at school. Okay. I think I think when they do that, I mean, I don't know, but from what I've noticed, I was kind of a part of a boot camp, and they would like focus on different technologies based on where you live or where the boot camp was held. I don't know if you're in a boot camp, you're talking about like traditional college or whatever, but or something else. But yeah, they would base the technology on what's popular in your area in terms of jobs. So that might be one reason they're using that. I don't know. Next public Firebase API key. So this is all good now. I don't know why this is the style looks like this, but let's try to fix that next. Did I make the notes here? Yeah, cannot restructure and then need accessing client side. Okay, cool. All right, so let's look at the 100%. Let's just look in the browser. So that looks fine. Main class. Okay. Home container. So there's some sort of home container. I think that's messing me up. Maybe. And I'm wondering if I did this or they did this. Home CSS module. Let me look at, I don't remember if I just copied all the stuff from the old project. Oh, index. No. So index CSS doesn't have a lot in there. App.css has nothing. So what is this? Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this. Let's see what we get now. Okay, it's something. At least it's not like squished in the middle of the page. All right. What else? Let's get rid of that footer for now. So an app, get rid of that. So we just see no auth. There used to be a button up here. I don't know what's going on with that. No auth. Oh, there is some code I need to fix in where's that get button code? I had some commented out code somewhere. Auth sign out. Um auth context is authenticated. I swear I had some code that maybe it was in chat. Oh, right. This is where I had it commented out. Okay. Um, Let me think about this. Okay, I can close this, close that, leave that open. What's this? So no auth. I wonder why that's showing up. Auth context is authenticated. No auth. Otherwise, it would share the chat. Okay. This I think I can close. I do need to set up the database still. But I want to figure out this auth stuff first. So, auth provider. Let me just do some logging. So use effect. Would it be an app? Header loading is true. Oh, what if I do false? Oh, there's the button. Okay. So where is loading coming from? I have no idea. What did I have that? App header loading. Am I ever using this? That's weird. Did I just like, was I just testing in this old code or what? Because I never passed this in, right? Header, header. Oh, that's loading screen. So header's loading there, and it's not there. Okay, okay. So this should just be optional, basically. Okay. And then loading screen should have loading. All right, let's take a look what's going on here. So sign in with Google. Does this even work? Does it? It does nothing. There's an error. Okay. What is that error that pops up? Did I create that? I don't know. Auth configuration not found. Loading. So now it's permanently loading. That's nice. No, it's not. Okay, so sign in. Auth configuration not found. Oh, this is Next.js. This is their like dev error message thing. That's what created that. I was like, I don't remember making that thing. Okay, Firebase error. Auth configuration not found. Okay, I think that's just in my console. I need to go whenever that wants to load. Card game, build, authentication. Get started. Additional providers. We want Google. Enable. Update the project level setting below. Continue. Okay. They're also actually pretty nice. All right, so we just have Google. Let's see now if we go back to this, if this even works. Man, that's slow. What is this? Interesting. Okay, that is working. It's pretty cool. This is going all the way to the other side. Why did that go so slow the first time and now it's like kind of fast? Let me see. It's not loading for some reason. I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, I don't want it to say like loading. It's just temporary. It's going to actually have some sort of animation or something. But for now, it's just going to say that while I'm testing stuff out. Oh, all right, well, let's get that chat working. So the style. All right, Chai. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good night. See you next time. Um, what context did don't save. This is the old one. Loading screen. All right, cool. I wonder why this is, it has some sort of fixed width, I guess. Let's look at what this is. So this is the chat. Go to chat. Chat. Go to here. Flex 1. Hmm. Width 1080 pixels. I remember seeing that. So this will be easy. I just need to set this to, oh no, it's max width. Let's get rid of that. So that's not what's causing it, I guess. So main, something in main. Honestly, I'm not really sure. Hmm. That flex? Oh, there it is. What is this? It's a div inside of main. Content. Where's content? There we go. What is that? Um, we'll do like 80%. About padding top 10 pixels. Okay. And then width, I don't know. Um, I guess the relative width isn't working. Can I just get rid of width? Did I already try that? I don't know. Anyways, let's just get the chat working and probably stop for now. How long have I been going? About an hour. Alright, chat. Return DB messages. Okay. So let's go back to the Firebase doc. We want on snapshot. Okay. On snapshot, this will be Firestore, not cities. It's going to be a collection. What does this take? Takes the Firestore and then a path. So I think it's going to be global chat. Doesn't currently exist. And then there's a callback. let's check this out. It's collection path, collection reference. Return DB, what was that from? I don't know. So doc, query snapshot, console log, current data, doc.data. Oh, right. Okay. So I'm doing this wrong. We need to get the collection first. Once collection equals collection. Firestorm path. Global chat collection. Okay. And then from there, we can get the doc. So global chat collection dot path. What's that? Dot. Dot cat. No, it's not a thing. Alright, I think we just need to look at the API reference. Maybe I don't even need to get the collection. Trying to like make it work like it was before, but hmm. Let's actually just copy what it was before as well. All right, now let's set up the actual database. So if we go to Firebase card game, build Firestore, what does that say? I don't know. Create database, start in test mode. Fine. Start collection. So if I go query builder, well, I don't know what that does. Yeah, it's been a while since I used this, so might have to like figure out. I might actually go back and watch my old video and see indexes. One thing I do need is to go back to the project settings. I thought I'd have a database. Maybe I need to do that from here. Extensions. Okay. I will be right back. All right. Test mode. It docs collection. Hmm. Okay, I think I see what I need to do now. This is the path. This is the collection, this is the path. And my path is going to be, let me see if I return some objects, test objects like it's expecting. So ID 1 message, test 1, ID 2, test 2. I think these are strings. Text. Is that showing up? Okay, those are showing up. All right. Unsub. So this load messages, I need to get this unsub. Honestly, I'm just gonna move all this in here. I think. I'm gonna leave it actually. Okay. So global chat, and then my path would be this. Thought there used to be a good way to like copy paths. So here's a collection. Here's a document. and that'd be this, I think. And is each message a document? Not sure. Um, uh, I guess. I don't know. Um, String ID is one, add field text test FB. No. All right, let's do adding like real-time data. Read data, real-time updates. We need like a list. I remember. I think it's just in the add data section. Firestore list. I know you could do the same thing with the Firestore. What section was that in? Web. Um, yeah. We just need to like push messages onto a collection. I'm just wondering how I want to do this. Is each message going to be a document? Let's look at Firebase pricing. Also want to look at a data model. So message one is a document. Right? Because collections are like, look like this. These are documents. So yeah, okay. So this is how I want to set it up too. Well, hold on. To understand, you can create a collection name rooms to store different chat rooms. Now that you have chat rooms, decide how to store messages. So these are definitely documents. These are collections. So for each message, they do have a document. Okay. I could do a messages collection, I guess. Sub collection. Does it work like that? No. So the second thing has to be a document. So there's no reason. So yeah, so each message will be a document. That's how we're going to do it. Okay. So let's delete this. And these are the fields. So this is going to be ID 1 and text test fp1. And then we're going to add another document. Text test fp2. So 2 messages. Okay. So how is it going to read these in? Like I do want a way to like, I think I should have a collection because or a document because it would be like per day. Because I don't just want to have like for a global chat, I don't want the chat to just go on forever in the same document. I think that'd be a bad idea. So this could be like a timestamp, and then it will have messages collection with documents. Let's actually do that instead. So global chat, I'm going to delete these 2 documents. Add document. This will be a timestamp, Unix timestamp. So let's do 11, we'll do 14, and let's do 13, that's fine. 13, start it over, convert. So this will be the first, and I'm manually creating them, but yeah. So field, let's not worry about that. Start a collection, this will be messages. Document, this will be ID, one, text, test FB1. Okay. So global chat for the day has a messages collection, and those are randomly generated IDs. I guess those could be timestamped as well. Nah, it's fine. And then we'll add another document. Actually, I don't even need an ID. I can just say, well, the ID will be like the ordering, so I probably would want the ID. I'll actually make them numbers instead. Add. I wonder if there's another way to get the ordering. But test FB2. I'll actually make this a string just to keep it consistent for now. Okay. So we want the user to load the messages from that collection. Collection, global chat. What is this path? Global chat. This. Just testing right now. That. Messages. I'll be right back. All right. So we load messages, messages slash. Actually, that's right. That's a collection. Yeah. Okay. Global chat collection. Document. So on snapshot, can you just do, I guess that's the part I don't get. On snapshot, you pass a reference, and then on next. Like, can this just be that? Maybe? On snapshot. Doc. 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 Dot. Oh, okay. So this is collection, I think. Docs for each. Doc. All right, let's try that and see what we get, I guess. No idea. Oh, okay. That's not working right. It's loading forever, right? All right. How do we stop that? Sign out. There we go. Hmm. Authentication. We're good on that for now. Storage. Firestore. You can listen to a document with on snapshot. On snapshot collection. Oh, use a query. View changes between snapshots. Hmm. Okay, so let's set up a query, collection query on snapshot. Query snapshot. Hmm. So it's similar after that. anyways, query is taking the collection, const query equals query global chat collection queue. Go with that pattern for now, and then on snapshot queue query snapshot. I need this. Yeah. So DB collection global check get then query snapshot. Messages dot push. Return messages. What? So is this being returned inside the promise? Yes. Hmm. I don't know what I was doing with that. Messages. After this, let's just log messages. Oh, it's not a string array. It's a it's a chat message array. Okay. Doc.data.text, doc.id. Okay. Why does it keep showing them? I'm getting them back. That's a good thing. We're setting messages. Query global chat collection. Hmm. Oh, I have this twice. It's one issue at least. I don't think that'll fix the issue, but let's give it a shot. No. Well, this is called repeatedly. Oh my gosh. There we go. Because I had the on mount or whatever before. When I converted it to a use effect, I forgot to just do this once. There we go. So now this should be working fine. We get the two messages. Okay, cool. I think I'm gonna do a wait on this one. Await const messages equals await load messages, and then set messages messages. And I think you're not supposed to make this async for some reason. So I could just do that here actually. Use effect. Let me look that up. So React, use effect, async. Wait. I know I read that somewhere. I thought it was in the official docs. Use effect, callback, async. Right. Oh, it was just a linter. Right, fetch data. Okay. Could actually just move this inside of it. I actually like it outside. Alright, what's the problem here? Must return a value. Right, so this is actually void. Right. So promise. There we go. See what that does. Hopefully we get a couple messages showing up. Not yet. Oh, right. I'm setting the messages to what they already are because this is reading from here, not from here. So I just need to move this out of that. Now that should work. At messages, just to differentiate them. Actually, you know what? Let's make this chat messages. And this is set chat messages. Messages is not defined. True. There they are. Nice. Okay. Let's remove that module. li class name styles message list. Wait, how does that work? CSS modules. Okay. List style none. Going on. What? Oh, it already read them, right? So it's only going to show new ones, I think. Not sure, actually. Let's see. Let's add one and see if it shows up. Message. Let's see, ID. Yeah, I guess we don't even need that ID, but I'll add it anyways. Actually, no, I won't. Text. Test 3. So now, is that coming through? No. Okay. Why are those not showing anymore? Like, this was just working, right? Hmm. Get rid of this, I guess. It's the only other change I made, right? Hmm. That's a new array. What's going on? What? Messages.push console.log messages. It shows an empty array. What is this? But if I log them up here, on snapshot. I guess I just need to set them up here. I don't know what's going on. Guess I don't know how that thing works. And I can actually throw those in there. Okay, there we go. Alright, let's bring that style back that I had before. Class name equals styles dot message list. And then UL padding 2 pixels all around. I will say 5. Alright, so if we add another one, manually, so it appears at the top. Okay. So I want to order them differently. I thought I had a lot more going on here. Like I thought I had a way to add messages and stuff like that. But it is auto-updating, that's good. We do need an unsub, so let's actually return whatever this is. Unsub, unsubscribe. Unsubscribe. And that's type promise unsubscribe. Not auth though, it's unsubscribe. here. Okay. Const unsubscribe equals await. Oh, you can't do that. That's right. To return function cleanup, and then return function cleanup, and that should call unsubscribe, but so that's synchronous. Hmm. One thing I'm also not liking about this is that it gets all the messages every time, which is good when you load the page, but it's not good when you just get a new message. So I just want like the latest one. Query snapshot. What's doc change? Hmm. Firebase on snapshot latest documents. All right, let's just read about this. You can listen to a document. Initial call creates a document snapshot immediately. Then each time the contents change, another call updates the document snapshot. Yeah. Okay. The first query snapshot contains added events for all existing documents. Okay. So that's what I need to do actually. So I need doc changes dot for each. Same thing basically. Then we put this code in here. Change type. Change. Change.doc.data. So this would be current messages. So it'd be messages. And we would set it to so we could update the state like that, but we'll do new messages. This will be new messages. New messages push ID change dot change dot. Um, let's React set state. Not set state. React use state. Set count. Hmm. React set use state fallback. Updater fallback. Did they get rid of that or something? Like I thought you had, if it's based on previous date, you had to pass a function. Let's read through it a little bit more slowly. Let's look at this. Maybe this is better. There we go. Updater function. So what am I doing wrong? Maybe I just need to return. Still not right. Alright, argument of type. Oh, wait. Not the problem? I don't know what's going on here. Let's read this and try to figure it out. New message is a chat message array. It's empty. New messages. Push to it. No problems there. Afterwards, we're going to set the chat messages based on previous state of messages. Is that what I'm doing wrong? This doesn't need to match up, right? I don't think so. No way. Alright, chat message. Oh no, it's messages. Yeah. Oh, there we go. There we go. Return. What? Do I need this? I guess so. Type chat message or chat message array. You're not assignable to type chat message. What? I don't get it. Oh, oh my gosh. There we go. Wow. I did not notice that. Okay. There we go. TypeScript. Help me debug that. Okay, so let's reload this. Alright. So it has all of these multiple times. Yeah, it has them twice. See what happens if I reload it again. It's fine. Why does it have them twice? That actually could be because I'm in development. Let's test that. Console.log. Dev. Whoa. See it 4 times actually. Encountered too many children with the same key. True. Hmm. So it should only call it once. I still need to figure out the query snapshot docs changes for each. Need to figure out the unsubscribe and why it's showing multiple. You see, let me see how many times that shows up. Twice. Okay. Hmm. Does that mean like all children will show up twice? Let's look in. Let's actually just remove this function. And see if that dev thing shows up. So it's only showing up twice. Hmm. Strict mode. Set it to false for now. See if that helps. Oh, I probably need to restart it, right? Okay, we're seeing them once, and then bring this back. Does that fix the issue? Okay, yeah, so that was strict mode causing that. We're seeing dev twice. I guess that's because of the use effect. Does that always happen with the use effect? Or is that the cleanup maybe? Let me see. No, it's not just from that. Hmm. Definitely mounting twice. Get rid of that altogether. So it's something in there. I guess it's the state that's changing. Like if I don't do that at all. Let's see. Yeah, just once. Okay. Oh, it's not mounting, it's rendering. That's just rendering twice. Never mind. Um, we're good. Use effect. Sometimes I forget stuff. Very basic stuff. Okay, so that's good. Um, Now I gotta figure out the unsubscribe part. Hey, Gina the potato. How you doing? So the unsubscribe normally, for example, in this unregistered part, it's synchronous. On auth state change, it's synchronous, I guess. And that just gives us back that. We have no problem there. But for the chat, I'm doing all right. I'm pretty tired. It's like 10:30 here, almost 10:30, and been working on this for 2.5 hours almost, and yeah, I'm getting pretty tired. Can't think as well right now. Like it took me probably like 20, 30 minutes to do something that usually would probably take 5 minutes, but it's all right. How are you doing? So I need unsubscribe. Fair, honestly. Whole mood. What brings you to this stream? You're just scrolling through the category, or since I don't promote on any like social media, I'm guessing that's how you found it. 12:30 here and you're bored. AF, yeah. Unfortunately, this stream is probably not gonna help with your boredom. Kind of speaking in a monotone kind of way. Pretty boring stuff. Looking at the software and dev category and stream content retention. Cool. Yeah, I do that too. I look through that. I just scroll from bottom to top or top to bottom, and just look at ones that look interesting and check them out. Usually most of them I kind of click away, but well, cool. Thanks for checking it out. What I'm making is like basically something. I don't know if you know what Yahoo Games is. It's like used to exist. I want to make basically an online spades game that you can invite your friends, and you can, I mean, this other feature probably won't work because I won't have enough users ever, but like matchmaking, so you could hit play now and it'll just pair you up with someone in the pool. But to test that out, I was just thinking I'm gonna need to like create bots, like to actually test that out because nobody will be using this thing, I'm sure. But you never know. It's mostly for just like a side project for portfolio because I never put together a portfolio. I got pretty lucky to find my job, and you never know what could happen in the tech industry. So I'm like just trying to beef up my portfolio and actually create a portfolio page, which I also don't have. So every day after work, I've been kind of working on little projects. I have a few lined up that are pretty interesting. This one is pretty cool too, but it's, I don't know, whatever. Last stream I hopped into is dead silent, waited like 10 minutes for the person to speak. Yeah, I've been there. Yeah, I've done that. I mean, like if you're gonna stream, like at least have the chat open. Although I have had streams where I haven't done this lately, but I forgot to open the chat or is hidden by a window. And I look back and someone was saying something to me. I'm like, ah, crap. Uh, but yeah, Throwback, yeah. Throwback. Yahoo Games. I miss Yahoo Games. I used to play spades on there. Wait, does it still exist? No. I don't know what this is. I used to play chess on there. Spades. They had a pool game. It was like kind of cool. We played that. What else? I'm sure there was some other games on there I used to play. Like that. As far as I know, that was like the main like casual chess player go-to place to play chess. Like there was like some other servers you could join, but like for casual players, they were all in there. MSN games, they had some stuff too. I never really get into that. I mostly just stuck to Yahoo, but MSN used to have some cool online stuff too. So what kind of stuff do you work on, Gina? What kind of technologies, what kind of projects? Assuming that you're you're into development, I'm guessing you are. Okay, so I can close this. One thing I thought was kind of interesting is, unless I just missed it, I see no reference to updater functions in the old docs for state, unless I'm missing it. Yeah, I- and I might be missing it, but I swear they used to have that, and then I don't see it anymore. I thought it was like just you don't need to do that anymore for some reason in React, and then I checked the new docs, and I guess it's still a thing. So it's kind of interesting. What I'm working on right now is just like a basic chat based on Firebase. Um, Firebase, what is it called? On snapshot change? On snapshot. You can get like real time updates. I think it uses WebSockets. I'm not sure. It's pretty easy way to get real time updates. So I'm planning to use this on snapshot for the game state in different games. Like each game will be in this Firebase or Firestore. This is like the global chat that if you just log in, you can just chat with people. Obviously, um, I don't know. No one will probably use it, but anyways. And then I'll have a for each game, it'll have its own chat. You can chat in there. And then also have like game collection, and those documents would make up the game. And that'll have like the game state of like the current state. So if you leave the game, come back or whatever, because you get disconnected, you could load from there, and every player will get like live updates of the game state. And then like when you make a move, it'll call Firebase function. That function will like make sure your move is within the rules. And then it will update the database as well of the game state. That's the plan anyways. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. I'm a student right now, so most of my time and energy is invested in whatever classes I have going on. This term is super light, which is nice. Yeah, yeah, those are nice when you get the easy semesters for sure. Get a nice break. Um, at the moment, my main focus is on an app I built to roll stats in Dungeons and Dragons. I made it entirely for myself, and it's the first project I've ever done, which is entirely self-directed on my own. Used my own art, recorded my own sounds, wrote the initial version in like 4 days. Nice. That's awesome. Yeah. Um, I am definitely not an artist whatsoever. Recording your own sounds, that's awesome. Definitely not an artist, but I decided for this particular project I'm gonna like do as much of the design as possible. I started this design, whatever's showing here, 4 years ago, and then I abandoned it. So I don't know if I'm gonna stick with it or do something new. And obviously this is the chat messages that are appearing, and I just have this border around it, but I have a lot of work to do. I basically just started on this. But oh, it's on the Play Store. Yeah, let me see that. Like very basic click-clack rolls. If you don't mind, I mean, if you don't mind me showing it on stream, I'd like to look at it, but and also all these streams are like recorded on my YouTube, so if you don't want me to show it, not that my YouTube has that many viewers, but let me know. Um, but yeah, I would like to take a look if you don't mind sharing. All right. So yeah, these docs are garbage. I like the new Beamer doc. Those are nice. Google Play, D&D. Oh, that looks slick. Nice. That looks really good. Let's see what else. I'm not familiar with D&D. Like my knowledge of D&D is pretty much, I think that's what they refer to in Stranger Things. Is that right? They do Dungeons and Dragons. That's the only thing I know about it. But I mean, I know the basic idea of it. It's like a board game, and you have this dice. That's cool though. That looks really nice. I like the design. I like the colors, the background, everything. Looks good. How did you make this? Did you did you do it in like Java? I don't even know. Is that what people use now? Android development language? Java? Okay. Kotlin, Android, Kotlin. Kotlin is like similar to Java, right? Kind of. Fully interop. It's designed to operate. It's designed to interoperate fully with Java. Okay. Cool. Kotlin tends to be grouped with Java, but I've never used it. Yeah, I think I tried using it once. Um, and I had like done Java in school, and I was like really loving Java, so I was like, I just want to stick to Java. But let's see. But I haven't used Java for like, man, how long has it been? 5, 10 years, something like that. I think I did like a little while ago. I did something. I was gonna make an app. I like barely started using it again, but yeah, I've mostly stuck so far to JavaScript. Right now, I'm learning TypeScript, which is basically JavaScript with types. Um, Gonna learn Go pretty soon, I think, and it's another language. Maybe at some point Rust, but and then I'm learning like Svelte, which is not a language, but it's like another library that you can use in place of React. Java is my favorite language I learned so far. Yeah, Java's nice. Your current class is on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. We haven't started the JS yet. Yeah, I think, yeah, Java is probably just a better language. JavaScript kind of, it's okay. I like it. You can write things pretty quick in it, but I think Java is just better for a lot of things and faster. So that's cool. So you're getting into web development pretty soon, huh? Oh, I want to see one more thing on this. So install. Interesting. Okay. Do you have any other apps? Conversion app. This app is available on your device. Do I have any devices registered to this email? I didn't know that. Interesting. This app allows you to select how you want your stats to be rolled. Press a button and receive a complete set of stats in return. Data safety. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't know how it is now, but I remember back in the day, it was really easy and really nice to get your app on Google Play and like to get it on the App Store. There was some like process they had to verify some stuff or you had to pay some money or something. So, did I ever put an app on there? I think I made like a game, I don't remember what it was. And I was gonna put it on there, maybe never did, but I've always been an Android guy. I like Apple or Apple products are nice, but I don't know. I've always been more of an Android person. The other one was a project. I'm planning to at least make it look prettier, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. Yeah, that's pretty big. Are you planning, I'm guessing based on your classes, you're planning on like getting a job in tech, or do you already have a job in tech? Got to pay a 25 lifetime fee and then fill out the paperwork. Yeah. Yeah, 25, right, yeah. Is this still only a 25 lifetime fee? That's a pretty good deal. Yeah, I remember that. I had an account too. I have no idea what that account was, but I should find that. If it's too hard to find, it's probably not worth, if I spend a whole day trying to find it, it's probably not worth the 25 bucks, but if I can find it quickly, that'd be nice. Um, Planning to, and I've started applying, but nothing yet. Okay. Yeah, I like what you said about how you're gonna make the other one look nice. I think it's actually really important to make your projects look nice. 'Cause if you think about it, I mean, I'm sure you've heard this, like recruiters are just recruiters quickly look at something and then if it looks like whatever, they just move on. They don't like, you know, they don't look through like a bunch of stuff and like try to make a smart decision or not a smart decision, but like take in all the facts and like make a decision. They kind of just look at something and move on, at least from what I've heard. And one example of that is like, and I'm not knocking recruiters. I just think it's a numbers game and they just kind of have to like, filter down quickly. Um, like the current job I have, the recruiter initially just said, no, we're not interested. And I don't know if this will help you or whatever or anybody, but and part of the reason they said no, I think, is because I don't have any like projects. I still don't have portfolio projects, even though I'm working on them now. And so they said no, and I replied, I was like, okay, well, um, here's my YouTube. It's showing all the work I put in on these other projects because I had like done some work. I just never put them together in a package and put them on a portfolio site. And I said, here's my YouTube. It shows, there's videos of me coding and talking about coding on there. Um, Hopefully you can reconsider. I don't remember what I said in the email, but basically I sent her the YouTube and she said, okay, you have an interview. It's like, really? That's all I needed to show you my YouTube? Okay. So yeah, all these things, streams I work on, I also put on my YouTube mostly for that same reason, so I could show like, hey, this is someone who's putting in a lot of work on these side projects, and maybe like a technical person could like quickly look at one of the videos and decide if I'm an idiot or if they think I could work for them or whatever. Apple is $99 a year per subscription and a whole bunch of hoops to jump through, and you need a Mac. Yeah, yeah, that was another thing that stopped me from looking into from Apple. Like at that time, for sure, you needed like a Mac. I think now you can get away with like having a cloud Mac or some other way to do it, but um, definitely at that time I needed a Mac, and Macs were always kind of expensive back then. Made the unit conversion one as a project. I hadn't known Java. That one was a little bit rough. Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely, like you said, go back and polish that up for sure. Big bong hitter. Hey Matt, can I ask you a question specific to React? Sure. What's your question? I'm not a React expert for sure, but I might be able to answer if it's like something you want help with or something. All right. What's your question, bong hitter? Um, where am I at now? So I have the chat messages loading. Where is my app even? Here, let me see if I add another one. I'm not sure if I even tested this yet. So if I add another message in this document and collection, let's add a message, auto ID, text, newest message. It should appear on the page, and it does. And it's appearing at the bottom, which is what I wanted before. That's good. Okay, I'm making a workout tracker app, but I want to take in multiple inputs for the different exercises. How would you take in multiple inputs for the exercises? Um, I'm not sure what exactly you mean. How would you take in multiple inputs for the exercises? Like, can you give me an example? Because, just without knowing more, I mean, there's some, like you would just use inputs, HTML input. So you would use like, you'd have a form probably, although you don't necessarily need one. And then you would have like input type, text would be probably most of the inputs. Although if it's a number, maybe you want to use a number. Um, yeah. So right now I have a form, for example, with title, date, and then I need multiple inputs for the exercises to be dynamically created. Multiple inputs. So you need to be able to create multiple exercises and add them to a list, right? Like for example, this is not a great example for what we're talking about, but like I have multiple chat messages, right? And those need to be added. Okay. Um, hey Gina, welcome back. Um, do you have any example code that you started with that you can show me? Like on GitHub or something? Or are you just like starting from conceptual level and you just want to know? You don't. Okay. Let's make a new React app and I'll show you. So let's go with Vite, getting started. Okay, npm create Vite latest. So let's do new folder. We'll call this Vite, and in here, command. Let's create it. I'm gonna use just JavaScript. Let's call it Vite project, I guess. It wouldn't let me rename that, so I'll do React, JavaScript. All right, so Vite project. So let's open this. I gotta run npm I. npm dev, run dev, open this. All right, so we have a new app. I'm gonna erase all the stuff in here. I'll say make a new form. I'll say, so you said title, date. Okay, so you have like let me think about this. So title, so input type equals text, and this will be label title, and then do another one for date, and then you'll have like I don't know, a div that says exercises, something like this. I'll put that even in a separate div, something like this. And then you'll have like, um, uh, probably like, probably just use a label for this actually. Whatever, it's fine. So this will be, um, that'll like list exercises. Let me just load this really quick. So title, date, exercises, and then within that it'll have like a list. So I'm gonna put that up here, const exercises equals an array, and those will be objects. And we'll say type running, and then like duration or something. That'll be 1 hour. for 30 minutes, and then type uh, push-ups, and then count. We'll say 30 instead of 30 minutes. Count. We'll make these both count just so it's the same type of objects. Push-ups count, we'll do, I don't know, 10 or something. All right, so exercises. So like just to make them show up here, you can do exercises dot map, which returns an array, and oops, it needs to be just JSX. So this will be a div, I guess. Div, and this will be exercise. This isn't like what you're asking, but I'll get there. So this will be exercise. Okay. Let's see what that does. So unique key, so we need a key. We'll make that the index. And index exercise. So exercise, let's see, let's do a string here, I guess. Exercise dot type. We'll just throw the type in there to display. Okay, so you have exercises. I'm going to take this outside of the form. That whole thing actually. So the exercises are displaying. You have the form. And let's see what that looks like. It's terrible, but okay, so here's the exercises, here's the title, the date. And then, so you want to be able to add multiple exercises as part of the submission, right? So for example, it would be like label exercise, and then input type equals text. Okay. By the way, that's kind of what you're asking. What you're asking is kind of like if you look up to do app React, you can find some good stuff. But actually, no, you should already know that. So I mean, based on what you're asking, I think you already know that. You're asking like in the form, how do you make it to where you can like dynamically add more of these items to add in there? I think that's what you're asking. How do I make these so they're not in line? That's the issue. Okay. So exercise, I gotta make these so they're not in line. I guess I'll just wrap them in a div. I think that'll solve part of the problem. Let me see. Okay, there we go. I'm just doing this quickly without thinking too much about the styling and like the properness, just to show you the logic. So div. Okay, so exercise. Okay, so there's the form. So you have title, date. So there's gonna be more to this actually. let's comment this out for now and just show the form. So title, date, and exercise. So we'll call this overall thing, we'll call it a workout. And then workouts, sorry. Set workouts. And this will be an array of these things, workouts. So workouts will be an array of a title, date, title, date, and then they'll also have another thing, which is an array of exercises. Array of exercises. Right, so that's what the workouts look like initially. In fact, I'll just throw this up here. Okay, I'm gonna remove this. Okay, so you have one exercise, and then like it'll be like push-ups. This will be workout 1, date today, and then you want to like maybe have a button here or down here or something, right, where you add an exercise. So for each of these exercises, let's see. Yeah, you want a button. Add exercise. See what that looks like. Oh, where's the styling coming from? I guess that's just the default. Form on submit equal e dot prevent default. So doesn't reload the page. Okay, so add exercise, and then you'll see exercise line, another one down here. Okay. So it's kind of the same thing. Let me think about this. So you'll have, that'll be in an array also in your form. So that will be an array that you map over. Exercises dot map. Let me grab all of this, and this will be like that. Exercise. And then we need this in parentheses. And what am I missing here? I'm missing another parentheses, right? Exercise. Just make it match up. Exercise. Oh, right. It needs to have like a fragment or something. It needs to have a parent. Okay. So you'll initially start with 1 on your form. If you hit add exercise, it will just create another one, right? So we'll say const exercises set exercises equals use state. Okay. And then we'll say it's an array. And on submit, by the way, will part of on submit. So let's actually just do a function. So this will be handle form submit. To answer your question, basically, it's just another piece of state that you need to keep track of and update. That's pretty much it. The function handle form submit, and part of that will be e.prevent default. Part of that will be set exercises to an empty array again. Yeah, I was trying to use only one use state for the form. Yeah, so you have the form state. You actually don't need and the exercises. Oh, right, okay. I mean, you could do that too. You just have to update the property of whatever. I don't know how you have it set up. Like, do you have it like an object? Like it's like title, date, and whatnot. So you have like form data, set form data. So you have like the form data in state. How do you have it set up? Because I would say you don't really need that. If you want to do that, that's fine. You have the form data in state in like a single object, right? For very basic forms, I would actually recommend you do not have them be controlled components. It's just easier to work with. So I would actually just have them be just inputs, and then you could just get the form data on submit from the form itself. But if that's fine, so you have it all in state. That's where you're running into issues. Okay, well, having it be all controlled in a state is fine as well. So let's set it up how you have it then. All right, so you have your form data. The workouts is a separate thing. That's going to be populated from the form data. Okay, so this would actually be form data dot exercises then dot map, and you could start with some initial state of one of the form data things. So you could have like title is none, date is whatever, and then exercises is an empty array. So you have that to start, and then so this would be input would be value equals form data dot title, and then this value would be form data dot state or not date, and then the exercises would be form data exercises, and then you'd map over those. We'll say I exercise I. Type text add exercise. So this add exercise would be, you could have like an on click And I'm going to do handle add exercise. I'll just do another function instead of doing an inline function, because I think it'll get messy. So you'll have function handle add exercise, and that's going to take the form data. So you want to set form data, and you want to set it to a copy of the current form data. So you want to do that by going function uh, current form data or whatever, and then you return an object. I'll just make it like this: return an object of the new form data, of the old form data, or current form data, and then you add you also want to grab the exercises. So you need const exercises equals form data dot exercises, right? And then you say whatever's in the form, and then exercises is going to be the let me think about this. No, you don't need this. What am I talking about? So exercises is going to be an array that contains the current form data dot exercises and then new exercise. And new exercise would just be let me think about this. So you add an exercise, handle add exercise. Value is form data no. It's exercise dot what did I call it? Oh, I don't have anything for that. We'll just say exercise type, right? So input is exercise type, whatever the exercise is, and then you add an exercise, which basically you're adding what is an exercise? An exercise, I guess, could be an object, right? So you could just add another new exercise, could be like just an object. That's it, an empty object. Let me format this. So set form data, you have the current form data, and then you return an object with all the form data, and then you update the exercises to be the current exercises plus the new exercise. I think that'll work. Okay, you provide a value prop to a form field without an on-change handler. Hey Gina, thanks for the follow. So add exercise, what's wrong here? Oh, there are no exercises, right? To begin with. There we go. So you add an exercise, add an exercise, add an exercise. Oh, I should probably start at one. I plus 1. I just realized I don't know if I already followed earlier. Yeah, thanks, appreciate it. So let's actually throw this in a div. And maybe you don't want like maybe you just want one button, right? Unlike the latest one, you don't want one next to each. 1, 2, 3. So you could do that with conditional rendering. You could say if if I is equal to exer form data exercises dot length. So the one you're currently on, if it's the last one, it would be length minus 1. Then render this. Something like that. There's probably a better way to do it, but I can throw this in parentheses to make it easier to read, I guess. Did I get rid of them? Yeah, it gets rid of them. So it'll only be on the last one ever. And obviously you need to do some formatting. Why is there, does that make sense? Hopefully. And then, so value is exercise type. And then on change. So yeah, it's way easier to do it like this. No. Let me think about this. So exercises. So you have form data exercises, and say you actually want to enter information and submit. Yeah, I mean, there's more to getting this to work, but the key concept is it's just going to be an array that you map over and shows another form item, pretty much. That's the main part of it. And then handle add exercise. And then what else was there? What was the other concept? There's one more concept. I don't remember what it was. That's pretty much it. So you just need to map over that and add form items. Hopefully that helped. I could go further if you need more details, but if you're good, let me know. It did help? Okay. Did you want me to take it all the way or just you good to try it out now? What do you think? Okay. Form data. So form data, let me think about this. So you do want to have these be controlled. Do you definitely want to have these be controlled where you're setting the value based on state, or would you rather the values just be because it's way easier to just in the form submit, like I said earlier, you in the form submit you just get all the values. That's like way easier. But I guess But is the setup you have similar to this, where you have the form data all in one object? Similar to this, right? Okay. So let's add an exercise type in here. It'll be push-ups to begin with, because I want to see some data showing here. So we see push-ups, okay. And then I'll fix that error in a second too. So form data dot, so we have value, form data title. So title, let me just see if this is working. Test one, date one. Okay, cool. So these are just saying we need, since it's a controlled, these are controlled, a controlled form, however you want to say that. We need to have an on change. Otherwise, if you don't have that, you can't type, right? So on change equals set form data, set form data, update form function, update form, and we'll throw these on all of these. Update form. So really quick though, let me point you to this video. Web Dev Simplified. Web Dev Simplified. Stop writing. Think about forms. I don't know. I would check out this guy's channel. He has a lot of good tips. Maybe you already seen it. It's in shorts. Anyways, he talks about that, where if you just have simple form data and you're not like doing any like anything, and all it is the user's typing into a form, like what we're doing, then I would not have the state. I would not have the setup we have right now. I used to do that, and then I saw his video and I realized, oh, you don't need to do that. So I would not have this value on change setup. I would just have the form be just a regular form, and then in the on submit, you just get all the form information, like I said a few times already. All right. So anyways, update the form. So that'll happen every time you change. So, so there's a few ways to do this. Let me think about this. So you need to know like what is, there's a few ways you could do this. You could do update exercises, right? You could do update exercises here. Have another function for updating the date, have another function for updating the form. If you did that, then you would know based on which function got called that it would like you would know which piece of state to update based on which function got called. If you have um one function that handles it all, then you would need to pass that information somehow as well, because it needs to know which piece of state to update. So you could do like update form, you got to pass the event so you can get what was typed in. All right, so update form event e update form event, pass the event through. Okay, and then you also want to pass like what you're updating. So this will be like title. You could actually do it a little bit differently. You could like give this, I actually take this back. So you don't have to do what I'm saying. You could give these inputs like a name, title, and then just access that, or an ID, whatever. Title, or no, not title, date, and then name equals, using name is how you have it set up. Okay, so title, date, and exercise. So this will have to be, yeah, the exercise is a little bit tricky. So this name, you have to make it like exercise, which one? I would actually do like would a name be good enough? I think. You could do like an ID. You could do a data ID. That's what I would probably do for this instead of a name. So exercise. We'll get rid of the name. So we'll do a data ID of exercise number um, exercise number I. That'll refer to which one you're updating, right? Okay, so you want to do console log e dot target dot value. No, e dot target. So let's take a look at that. E dot target. Each child should have a unique key. Did I not do that already? Oh, I only did it over here. Let's set this to like exercise um, dash I, something like that. Hopefully that warning goes away. Why is that not going away? There it goes. Okay. All right. So you have a data ID for the exercises, and then you have um, a the target, right? So let's actually, I can just bring this back to how it was. Update. Let me just do it like this. Update form. So e dot targets, and then you could pull out the name const. Actually, let me log e dot target. I'm not sure. Console dot log e dot target. So what is that? E dot target dot name title and date. Okay. So for these two properties, let's see. So the form data is like this. So you could say const an object, and you could say um, e dot target dot name is equal to e dot target dot value. Wait, what's wrong with this? Const object equals. There we go. So no, that's not right. So object equals, so you have a blank object, I guess. That's one way to do it anyways. And then you set, actually, no, I had that right. I could have done what the other thing I did. I definitely could have done the other thing I did. So, and then you do set form data um, to the object. No, let me think about this. So, set form data to the form data, the current form data, and you set it to form data. I'll actually use current form data just to make it clear. And then you want to set this property. Hold on, let me think. You want to just change that one property. So e.target.name is e.target.value. I think like this. Am I doing that right? Something like that. Yeah. And then we could destructure that. So const equals e.target. So we'll do name value. Just like you said, name value. And that will work fine for the two of them. These, I think. Object is not iterable, cannot read property. Set form data, current form data, name value. What's up with that? That should work, right? Because you're overriding. Hold on, let me double check this. So console.log name value. Not read property at update form. All right, before I even do this, let me go back to this. Wait, it's not updating or something. Why is it doing that? Oh my gosh. Okay. That was my bad. I don't know why I did that. Okay. So title F. Okay, cool. Okay, so bring that back. I think for these two it should work. The title's updating, that's updating. Exercise, that's another issue, right? Because it's in an array. So with the array, that you need the data ID. In fact, to make it simple, I'm just going to make the data ID that's I. So we could do const e.target.data set console.log. Is it data set? I think that's what it is. Data attributes JS. Oh, it's a lowercase data set. Okay. so data set, and then it'd be .id. So going back to this again, so that's 0, that's 1, that's 2. Right. So, okay, so console.log. So data ID, so you want to update that particular ID. So set form data would be current form data. We'll say, we'll just do if data target data set. So if data set .id, then we will grab that ID, I guess, const ID equals data set, and then we're going to update the form a different way. So current form data, so we want to take the current form data, replace what is currently in, so I think about this. Replace what's currently there. So exercises. What's a good way to do that? We can make a copy of exercises, I guess. So you take exercises, updated exercises equals exercises. And then you want to change. You should actually, I think you should do that in here, right? Set form data. Here, let's do it in here just to make it. I'm not sure if it matters, to be honest with you. I probably should know that, but let's make it return. Hold on, it's confusing when you have that setup going on, at least for me. So I want to return an object that looks like that. Get rid of that. And we're missing one more. Or do we have an extra one? Oh no, we're missing a parentheses here. There we go. All right, so you're going to set the form data, current form data, return the object exercises. So here we could do const updated exercises equals a copy of the current exercises, and then we'll just modify updated exercises ID equal to value, and then exercises is updated exercises. Does that make sense? Does that work? So you have the current form data dot exercises, and then you say update just that one to the new value, and then you return all the form data with the new updated exercises. I think that works. Let's see. component is changing. Okay, so it's allowing me to change. So it's that first one that's not working right. Also, I want to console log out the form data times. Gonna get messy, but so set form data. Let's do an else, I guess. Else set form data. I think it's a little bit cleaner than, like, let's say returning there or something. Sometimes I think it actually is better to have an else. It, like, makes it more clear to me. Anyways. All right. And then we wanted to on change update form. So here I just want to console.log form data. So I want to make sure it's actually updating the form. Okay. We'll get back to that one. Okay, so exercises. So yeah, it's actually updating. If I do that, it's updating that one. Well, it shows what it previously was. If I do it one more time, you'll see two Fs. Right. Okay. So, and then the first one, I think we just want to not have one in there. No, we need that. Why is the first one an issue? So you add. Oh, wait, exercise dot type. Exercises ID dot type, I think. There we go. Okay. That's why. Good. That's not good. That's working, kind of. Yep. I wonder what that issue is. So if a component is changing input div form, a component is changing an uncontrolled component to be controlled. This is likely caused by the value changing from undefined to defined value. Oh. Undefined to defined. Where is that happening? It's defined. Is it not? What do you think? I don't know what's up here, actually. Oh, wait, so you add one, you add an exercise. This is obsolete now. That would just be handle form submit. Assuming it worked, you go set form data to be just an empty array, I guess. Or no, an empty object. You could do like a default form default state or initial state, whatever. const form initial state. What did I just, hold on. What the heck? Form initial state. Const form initial state. And then something like that, maybe. I don't know. No idea. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. Let's try to troubleshoot that, and I'm gonna go to bed. Um, so everything's working there. So you add an exercise, you type in that one's fine. So it's when you add one and then you start typing in it, but only the second one. Because if I add two, so it's like whatever the new one is not being updated, basically, something like that. So handle add exercise, set form data, current form data. Oh, there we go. Type blank. I think that was it. There we go. Okay. Something like that. I don't know. Sure, there's other ways to do it, but it does work at least. And then once you submit the form, let's say the submit goes below all of that. Button submit. Didn't expect you to give you a full tutorial. Yeah, no problem. I mean, it's something that I've done a couple times, but yeah, it took me a minute to like think it through for sure. It's not the easiest thing. All right, submit. Um, type equals submit. So this should be like um, set form data to the initial state. Let's see, console.log form data. This is like the final what you're submitting, and then you're resetting it. And this is where you would like send it off to a server or whatever, right? Where this log is. So let's take a look and see if that's working. Submit, so you have the exercises with just one. If you want to add one, it doesn't clear that. Or did I just type that in there? No, it doesn't clear that last one. But it did have that. A, uh, A, B, C, D. Oh, why is it not clearing that though? Not sure. But anyways, hopefully that helped. If you want to go back over what I did, it'll be on YouTube, on my YouTube channel at the end. So I'm gonna stop the stream now. It'll be uploaded by tomorrow. So hopefully that helps. And yeah, cool. Thanks for stopping by, uh, everyone. And I think I'm gonna call it. It does bother me though how it's keeping. Why is it keeping that? So it's like submitting it, but it's keeping in the whatever the value was on that. Hey, Fooster TV, how you doing? Thanks for saying hello. Um, See you, Gina. Long hitter. Have a good night. Fooster. Have a good night. If I might look at this and figure out or try to figure that out just because it's bothering me, and it'll be at the beginning of my next stream and YouTube video if you want to check that out. And tomorrow I'm going to be working on, or maybe not tomorrow, but next time I'm going to be working on a real-time stock scanner. That's going to be a tough one. Yeah, these are the projects I'm rotating. Daily Fantasy Sports Optimizer, web interface, what I'm working on tonight, real-time stock scanner, asteroids game, and then I'll mix in leak code. And these are my stream titles. Leak code I am not great at, so I did purchase a course on that. Hopefully that helps. Probably not necessary. There's tons of free good content out there, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, have a good night, guys. See ya.